How's everybody doing today? Alright, my name is Colby and this is my channel. And today I want to talk to y'all about something pretty simple. Today I want to talk to y'all about improving your gait and how to walk better as an amputee. There's several little tips. First, I'll just show you how I walk. That way you know. There's several little tips I can give you. You know, like there's several of you out there that might walk better than me right now. But the best advice that I can give you, if anybody is looking for advice on how to get better at walking, is number one, do not look down at your feet. That's the first thing we want to do for some reason whenever we're seeing how we walk, is we want to walk like this and look down at our feet. Well, not only does that teach you bad habits of walking bent over like this. I see my son doing it all the time. He plays this game called Robux, and every time I see him, he looks like this, and I'm like, Cage, you look like it makes you look insecure. Number one, when you're all hunched over, but number two, that's not how people with legs walk. You know, that's not how normal people walk. You look straight ahead and you're observing what you got going on, and you're walking. And the reason that is important is because it takes that hump out of your back, and it also has your back straight. I heard somebody say one time, I can't remember who it was, but they said act like somebody's got you by the hair and they're picking you up, like almost got you off the ground, and then you start walking. Well, that's kind of it, I guess, but to me, I just think about it like walk with pride. You know, you walk with pride. Have your eyes ahead looking at what you're doing, and don't be concerned about your feet, because if you're checking up on your feet, that means you're not sure, you know, about how you're walking. And when you walk with confidence, then you don't got to check on your feet. And who cares if you even hit a little stumble? You know, it don't matter. Turn it into something. When I first had my accident, I got a real bad scar on my hip right here where my hip got crushed. And when I first started walking, I could either walk like this, or either I had to walk with a cane. So you know what I did for a little while? I call it put something on my step. You know, that's what I made it look like. I made it look like that I just put a little something on my step. You know, it might have looked crazy to everybody else, but to me it was better than having a cane and having a limp. I turned my limp into something. Now, I ain't suggesting that. I'm suggesting walk through the limp, you know, but at first it might take that. Like if you have a little bit of a limp, then instead of fighting it, maybe you could go with it. You know, just go with it. I mean, if that's what it takes. But if you keep on practicing over time, you'll be able to do anything you want to do on these legs. These legs I can't jump real high, but I can jump. You know what I'm saying? I mean, these legs are pretty amazing, and it don't take a lot of effort to get better with them. But what it does take, y'all probably heard it if you've watched any of my other videos, what it does take is small incremental improvements. You know, just say I've been up practicing for 10, 15 minutes today, and my knees start hurting, or my hip starts hurting, or my back, wherever your ailments are. That's not a big deal. You know, that's what's supposed to happen. But if as soon as you give in to that ache, you go run, take your legs off, then your brain will start working against you. Let me give you a good example. Have you ever said, I'm going to work out today? You know, no, not today, because you're going to do it then if you say it. But have you ever said, I'm going to work out every day for the next month? And then for the first day you get it, the second day you get it. But maybe on the third day, your brain will start to make an excuse for you. That's a real good excuse, and you will just go with it. Well, your brain will do the same thing when it comes to these prostheses. It will already set you up for failure. It will let you know that, hey, all right, my knee's fixing to start hurting. See, your brain's only job is to protect itself. You think it's to protect your body, or that your brain cares about you walking? No. Your brain don't care about none of that. What your brain cares about is protecting itself. And what do I mean by that? Okay, say you're out in let's say you're out in the Antarctic desert, you know, where it's freezing cold, there's no water, there's no nothing, and you're freezing to death. Do you think your brain's just going to let itself die? No. Your brain's going to first cut off blood flow to all your extremities, and kill them. It's going to kill your legs. It's going to kill your arms to pull all that blood into itself to keep itself warm. Your brain is stingy like that. All it cares about is survival of itself. It does not care about you. But if you know that, then you can learn that your brain's useful, but it's not useful for you on things that put it in a stressful state. And what am I talking about, a stressful state? Okay, so if my knees start hurting and I'm walking, then my brain is constantly having to deal with that pain just by activity. You know, like say if you think about it like a computer, if you've got 40% of your computer working on a YouTube video and you've got another 20% doing this and another 20% doing that and 10% doing this, your brain don't like that. It don't like having percentages having to focus on other things. But that's what we as amputees who are learning how to walk need. We need our brain to focus on this in addition to other things. But what your brain will try to do is your brain will say, all right, well, since your knee's hurting, I'm going to go ahead and put that in your head that your knees are hurting and you need to sit down and take off your legs. And if you go along right with that right then your brain and its mind checks that like, all right, that works. So what do you think tomorrow it's going to do? When you put them on, as soon as your brain starts having to resort too much of its attention to that, then it's going to give you that same feeling. But if today you say, all right, my knees are hurting, you know, but I'm going to fight through it for a minute, it might take 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times of you doing that. But eventually your brain's going to not waste resources anymore on telling you to take off your legs, and it will get on the same page with you. And it will even block out some of that pain for you. But at first, it's going to try the shortcut. You just have to push through that. And this ain't nothing that you might never find, that you probably couldn't look it up and find it anywhere in no textbook or nothing like that. But this is coming from somebody who's been an amputee for 17, 18 years, something like that. I promise you I'm right. Once your mind knows that you're not going to give up on something, then it will get on board with you. But at first, it's going to try things its way, and it's just up to you to decide to do that or not. So what I want you to do is, if you have a towel or a string or anything, this is something that my ex-mother-in-law made me. I'm not a Mississippi State fan, by the way. My little brother is, who passed away in a car accident. But if you have somebody that will stand in front of you and will put something around your back, and as you walk, have them pull it just a little, so the center of your back cannot get no budge in it. None. No. So, no looking down, none of that. If you look down, tell them to jerk you forward to stumble you. And what you'll eventually do is you will develop a gait of confidence. The whole time, imagine somebody's got you by the hair, or imagine there's a screw in the top of your head that's holding you to the roof on a runner, and you have to look up and walk. And then let me put this thing back, sorry. And then before you know it, you're not having to use all your mental facilities to do all this extra thinking. Before you know it, that's just how you walk. And that's me. That's just how I walk. I don't have to think about it. I just move around. And that's what I want for y'all. I want y'all to get comfortable with your legs on, where you can be on one foot hopping. You can be on no foot hop. You can do whatever you want. You know what I'm saying? I got on all this red today because it's the 4th. But anyway, I just want y'all to know that it is possible, and don't think that you can't do it. And I love y'all, and much love, and thank y'all for coming to spend a little time with me on the 4th. And I hope everybody figures out this prosthesis thing. And more than anything, just know that it's not something that you got to be smart or that you got to be any kind of way to figure out. What you got to be is willing. You got to be willing to do it every day. You got to be willing to be hard-headed. You got to be willing to push through, and you got to be willing to not take a trail that's already laid down. Sometimes you got to get out the machete and mow out your own path. All right, everybody, please, if you found something helpful in this video, like, subscribe, and give me a share, whatever, anything like that, just so we can help get this information out to some other people who need it. All right, everybody, y'all have a good day.